So let's just let's see if I can go to the next page here. Okay, so the qualitative analysis or thematizing process, and there's different types of qualitative analysis. We're doing kind of more of the interviews, phenomenological, thematizing process straight up. One important thing to begin the whole process is really thinking about how the data is inputted. And most folks with interviews, I have 5 interviews and I enter in 5 interviews. But I want to share that certainly if you have different data sources, okay, so interviews on one hand and maybe some field notes on the other, I might do different projects there. If you have teachers and administrators, you may want to have different projects there. So thinking about how you're parsing out your data sources, that's one thing. There's also thinking about it in terms of interview question or research question. If you put in let's just say we have 5 interviewees, 5 transcripts, and we ask a series of semi-structured interview questions. When we're thematizing and coding, it's grabbing from all parts of the interview. So I just want to share that you could put in, for example, if some of the interview questions were based on one research question and other interview questions were based on another research question, you may want to have different projects by research question. So I just wanted to open up the door that there's different ways of thinking about data, putting in data, and creating projects. So I guess everyone can log in now. Okay, that's fine. So I think we're moving from the chat into the Q&A, and Melissa and Ashley are here to help guide you through, and Samantha. All right, so this might be the good time to get logged in. And we have example data sets to share with you as well. Then I'm just gonna talk for a few more moments, and then kind of hopefully someone or several folks have passed along some of the data that we can look at and exemplify how to use the tool. All right, Trina, so someone will get with you about how to get logged in. And Melissa, this is our correct email address for this?
It is the 360.
And
yeah, that's the right link to log in.
Perfect. Okay. So while that's all happening, I will, and it would be good to log in, so you can follow along. So I want to just briefly review, one protocol for how to do thematic analysis, leveraging the AI technology. So the first step is really uploading the data, or it can have a blank piece that you can paste in an interview or transcripts, or you can upload an audio or video file, and the tool will transcribe it at some nominal rate of 25 cents a minute or something. So basically that first section is just really getting data in. This assumes that you've read and reread the data, the interviews. Why? I thought that the qualitative data can do it for me. Well, you don't know if those codes and themes and excerpts are accurate unless you have a sense of the data. So it's really, really, really critical that you have command of that. And I would say, even if you've did the interviews yourself, giving that another read is not going to hurt. I know it's an arduous process, but this is going to save a lot of time. But having that confidence about what's there will help. So For those with little experience or moderate experience, basically the process is as follows. That we're looking for out of the interviews, we're looking for themes that emerge out of the interviews that really cut across all the interviewees. Okay, one, you have several examples of them, and really that it's the truth out in the world. That is, what you're finding here isn't just unique to your teachers or your business people or your social workers or whatever. It's the idea is that your interviews will transcend your data set and help other people to identify those themes and so identify themes that they can apply to different in different places in the world. So the general idea is that we're finding excerpts that are interesting or patterns of excerpts, okay? And then we want to kind of combine those together, okay? We want to put together similar excerpts and do a few stage process. And the first stage is really developing a code, which is basically just a naming of what these things represent, what these excerpts represent, and a description of that. We just call it a code. Okay, so it's a code, and it's a description of a code, and it's representing some phenomena or some pattern that data represents. And the tool will actually do that. The tool will actually grab the excerpts, put them together, generate a code and description. Then there's a refining process, which is you as the human being need to come in with your knowledge of the interviews and come in and really edit the code name, edit the code description. Perhaps the excerpt doesn't have enough context and you want to expand that context by adding a few sentences before. So there's a code generation process. Analogously, and thereafter, there's a thematizing process, which is basically now putting together several of these codes to generate a general theme. And that theme will have a name and description. And that theme, name, and description will need to be looked at by you as well to see, does it make sense that these codes go together, right, within this theme? Okay. The next step is, the next step might be to now align your themes with those research questions of yours. So we have a functionality, we have a tool or a function that really allows you to tie the theme and the research question together, and then provide a rationale for why they align together. And then there's a refinement piece and download. There's also a visualization piece, and I'm going to exemplify all of that momentarily. By the way, that's the deductive protocol, and it's going out and excerpting without any codes. Deductive is basically the same process, except that you, as the researcher, have a priori codes. I know in literature, these codes, I want to find additional excerpts or additional evidence for these codes. There's also a integrated reliability piece. And the integrated reliability piece basically is after you have codes and themes, either that you've done by yourself or with colleagues, that you've used with AI and your human brain to find themes and codes, there's a separate process called integrated reliability. And basically that process wants to see the extent to which 2 additional raters, or it could be 4, or it could be 15, that people that have not been in the process, the extent to which they can align excerpts, okay, pieces of the transcript and themes together. And what is the agreement among these additional raters? That's real proof that these themes and these excerpts are not confined to this set of data, but that it can be generalized. And it's not a trivial matter that things can generalize. I mean, think about, for example, the description of depression or anxiety and the different codes around not eating, not sleeping, not enjoying activities, and so forth. These are very powerful things. They become tools that we can now go and assess other individuals and say, hey, you know what? You seem depressed or anxious, or any of the variety of different types of themes that are out there in the world. So the research you're doing is really important. And the application of it and the reliability of that is really, really important. So I just want to really underscore that, bold that, italicize that, doing the work in the that we're going to do in a minute is important, but also doing that full follow through where other people can assist in looking at that reliability. Okay. So let's just get to it now. So, all right. Okay. So, and I'm going to go through the whole process here. So let's just, and I don't know if, I don't, hit refresh here. So the first thing is to create a project, and I'm just going to create use a sample project with just transcripts, and let's just do, since I'm in this mode, transcripts only. So I have 4 interviews that I've uploaded here, 2 around anxiety, 2 around depression. When you start this thing, you would go to create a project for those with their own data. We want to create a project, go to new project, and then just create a project name. Okay. And then if you have research questions, I want you to start putting them in there. Research question 1, research question 2, okay, and so forth. By the way, this is a flexible window. If you have sub questions, you can put it in there. Anything that you're going to want to tie to those themes, you can use that research question as part of that, and then just create project. And then you could just go to add transcripts or upload files. Okay, it uploads but best with Word docs. And as I mentioned earlier, you can upload audio, video, or blank transcripts. So, so just again, for those starting from scratch, create a project, new project, name it, add questions, create. For those that do not have data at the minute or just kind of want to walk through, let's just grab this. Well, I think I was in I think I was in psychology here. I think this is the one. Create project, sample project, transcripts only. And here we are. So we've named the project, we put in research questions, and we have transcripts here. So let's start with that excerpting, that is taking out interesting patterns of responses and naming those. So we can go to the AI tools right here, and we can go to inductive coding. And as I mentioned, the inductive coding is finding excerpts, combining or grouping similar excerpts and then generating a code name and code description. Okay. So it has found 21 codes and 63 excerpts. So at the moment, I'm just going to apply those to the project. The job, your homework would be now to go into each one of these codes. Okay. Go into the three dots to the right of it and into the details. And then look at that code name and code description. You can edit them here or leave them, but edit them's fine. And then you can go into the excerpts and make sure that those make sense. Now, by the way, if this excerpt is too short, you can go right to that excerpt, go to, and then you can expand it to add additional context if you want to. So vet the code name and description, and then edit the excerpt or unassign the excerpt, but get that process done. That's one way of working with the codes, generating codes. But now I can also add codes manually, and I can do that by clicking Add Code, put in the code name and description. I will find it over here, and then I can just simply highlight a particular passage that or pattern that is interesting. I can now tie that to any code or to my new code. So now that excerpt is tied to that code. A third way of coding is to find an interesting passage, go to add code and AI assist. This is a hybrid version where I found the excerpt, which is important, but I would like some support around the naming and describing of that. So that is one process. So there's three ways of getting codes. Okay, let's move on. The next example is really going into the thematizing process. That is to say, how many themes represent these codes? Question one. And what are the names and description of those themes? So I can go to the AI tools and to automatic thematizing to do those two-step process. So it's identified 11 themes. Okay. And if I can edit this, that might be too many. I can then apply that to the project. And you can see the different icon here for the theme. And your job now would be to go into each of those themes, details, and vet those theme names, descriptions, and then this should make sense to your brain that those codes go together with that. Okay. There's also additional ways to add themes. One way would be to go to the add theme. You manually add the theme and name and description. Now we have a theme sitting right here, theme example. And you can now drag any code, manual or AI, into a theme just by left clicking and dragging. So just know that you can do that. Okay. What I like to do next, after I have excerpted manually or with AI, I've created codes manually or with AI, and I've generated themes manually and with AI, I like to see what the heck I have here. So to do that, I now go to the Insights document, and I like to go to the bar chart, and I like to go to the code occurrence. So what's happening here? So on the x-axis are all of our codes, code names. To the right, we have our 4 interviews. And in the bar chart itself, we have which participant contributed, or participants contributed to that code, and how many excerpts. So here, the anxiety interview number 2 contributed 1 excerpt to that code of self-compassion. This first code, you can see, has about 5 excerpts, not about 5, actually 5. And then you can see that there's 2 individuals that have contributed, and then the number of excerpts to that. Generally speaking, you want kind of a good diversity. You want several folks or several interviews contributing to a code with numerous excerpts. I also like to peek at the theme occurrence. So I really like this. So I have a theme here, which has got particularly this theme. Okay. All participants contributed to this theme, and all have numerous excerpts to that. That makes me think we got a good theme going on here, worth review. This, less excited about. Only 1 individual with 2 excerpts contribute to that theme. So if I had to pick themes, okay, I'm up in this area here. I do want to say that there are needles in haystacks and interesting things with small number of excerpts, and so don't just out of hand disregard it, but just keep that in mind that this is going to be more generalizable, but this might be more interesting. Okay. Once I have my transcripts laid out, I have some sense of what's happening here. Okay. Now I can start building my results document. And I'm going to start building it in really 2 steps. One step is I wanted to tie my research question, okay, to different themes. I like to endorse all the themes. I mean, hopefully you have a nice tight list of themes, but I like to endorse all of those. And what results from here is that I have my research question, then I have my theme, and now below it is a very unique thing. It's a rationale for why that theme helps address that research question. Now, I like to, and then you can use them or not. Okay, you can dump them and say, that doesn't make sense. Mindfulness is an anxiety management tool. How does that answer how do individuals describe anxiety and depression? Well, it seems like that could work. But I endorsed all of those themes. And then when I download it, I just kind of edit. Okay. So research, question, theme, rationale. The next thing I like to do is drill into the themes. So for each theme, I'm going to want to look at the theme, look at all the excerpts, and start laying that out. So here I have a theme, cognitive overload decision making. I have a description of the theme, the code that was involved with it, and then supporting excerpts. By the way, I like to endorse all of the excerpts because they're kind of tough to read over here sometimes, right? So, but if I check all of them for every theme, right? Then when I download it, I can say, these are the ones that I really want. And then I can download this document into an editable Word document. And then continue to build out my results chapter. Theme, research question connection, theme, deep dive with excerpts, and any visualizations that you would like to keep with it. As I mentioned, the final piece would be the inter-rater reliability. You get to that by going into the 3 dots. Nope, I have to go to one that I own. Go to reliability tool. It takes a snapshot of that. you put in your raters' email addresses. And then you will wind up with something like this in your email box. Go to the survey, and then you'll have all of your excerpts over here, and you'll have some instructions here, and then you'll start the survey. And then for each excerpt, first out of 59, which theme do I think that goes with? Okay. You go to next. So you just do that matching task. And again, at the end of the day, what you'll wind up with, so after that task is done, you'll wind up with something like this. Under Insights, under CAP Analysis, for every pair of raters, it's going to look at the level of agreement. That is, where two raters both said that excerpt belongs with that theme, where there's agreement, but that both raters said that that excerpt does not belong with that theme. And then also where one rater says that excerpt goes with theme A, the other rater says not so fast, and vice versa. So for every pair of raters, that is a it will provide for every theme a kappa and a qualitative rating of that, an overall kappa, and then a grand kappa that looks at many pairs of raters. By the way, this is a huge time saver. It took me literally weeks to do this. And now you can do it in minutes. So it's come a long way in 30 years. So I think with that, I will stop. Again, this is being recorded. I know I'm kind of moving through, perhaps quickly for you all. But let me just take a break here. So Ronald, yes, so is asking about consulting. Yes, you can click on consulting and we can talk about getting support there, and my team is happy to help you with that. So thanks for pointing that out. But I'd like to kind of jump in right here. So did anybody share any project with me?
If you did share your project, go ahead and raise your hand and then we'll unmute you.
I
And
don't see it. I don't see anything. I think folks are.
oh, we do have one that's shared. 1 second.
Oh, I don't see it though yet.
All right, Michelle, you should be able to unmute.
Hello, Michelle.
Hi, are you able to hear
Hi.
me? Yeah, so I shared a project that was interesting.
I
We
don't
shared,
see the project, so I should see an accept or not, and I don't see that yet. So you shared it with James at intellectus360.com.
I created my own account, so maybe
Oh,
that's
that's fine. That's fine.
okay.
You can go to you can go to your three dots and go to share, and then
Hmm.
put in my email address. James, they'll put it in the they'll put it in the Q&A. James at 360.com, and then invite, and then I'll see it. I'm also interested in just looking at Jeff while you're doing that, Michelle. It's going to take some. So in terms of pricing, individual, academic pricing, you could just reach out to Ashley, and Ashley will put her information in the chat and in the Q&A. Is it possible to upload your own pre-developed themes? So I would upload those as codes, and then for every code you can make a unique theme. So that's one way to map it. Low income research. I understand, Claire. So yeah, we made this really value based. Melissa, maybe you can make a general comment about pricing or something of that sort.
Yeah, we'll put all of that in the email. We have discounts for faculty and student pricing. General pricing is $59 a month. It goes down from there. But we'll put all of that in our follow-up email and let you know how you can access the tool.
Thank you. Mixed methods. You're speaking my language there, Raphael. So yeah. So at the moment, we really have to use the quantitative tool for intellect and statistics for the quant, and use this for the qual. At some point, we'll get to how these things converge, but or triangulate. Okay, so we'll get to some. So Michelle, you're all over the place here. You're in the Q&A. You're in here. Okay, so let's see if I see you over here. I don't see where that you've shared it. So can we unmute Michelle's? So typically I would say, accept or decline here. Am I in the right, we think I'm in the wrong place here. No, I'm in the right place. So Michelle, did you actually share that?
No, I haven't figured out how to share it yet, but my questions are more general anyway.
Okay, so that's fine.
Sure.
So for those that do want to share, go to the projects tab or Intellectus Qualitative. So you're at this tab, simply go to your project and go to the three dots here. Okay. And then go to share. Okay, and then put in my email address and you can share that with me. And that email address is, Melissa, maybe we can put that in one more time.
Yep.
Okay. And then, so in the meantime, let's see if I can answer some of these questions here. Is it possible for us to upload pre-developed themes? So we talked about that. Can you do the same project across interview? Can you do the same project across interviews? Absolutely. The idea is to enter in many interviews. I hope that answers that question. Can you talk more about how the AI is drawing on research questions? How is calculating IRR? So the tie-in between the research questions, let's go here. No, I want something that says something. So the tie-in is under the insights. So it's really just, it's taking the research question that you put in, it's looking at the theme, and then it's developing a rationale for why that might be answering that question. So that's how it's tying together. The iterated reliability is just a very standard kappa, Cohen's kappa rating. You could just Google that or put that into something. So it's just looking at the agreements of when we both say it's there, we both say it's absent, and then accounting for times that we don't agree. So, but that's just a common formula. Okay, I'm a lecturer at Ariel University. Hi there. Okay, intend to develop an Alexis qualitative course. Yippee. All right, now we're talking. So to help you with that course, we actually have on our IQ website, we have a course already. There's 20 lessons, generally around qualitative research. And this can go behind your learning management system. It's competency based, so the grades go to your grade book. The tool can go behind your open access. Okay. So I'm sure Ashley will reach out to you. Hi there, joining from Turkey. Loving the international vibe going on here. Can we create cross-theme graphs? Let me just think about that. First of all, what is a cross-theme graph? So yes, so it wouldn't be a graph, but what we do have is a co-occurrence matrix. And at the theme level, this isn't exactly what you want, perhaps, but maybe this getting us there. So with this co-occurrence matrix, this is laying out the themes both on the y and on the x-axis. And what's inside here, particularly different themes. So this is theme 8 with theme 6, with theme 5 rather. This is identifying that one excerpt is overlapping there. So it's not a total cross theme, but it's excerpts that are crossing themes. And you can look at that for the codes as well. I don't know if that totally grabs what you're doing, but it does give an opportunity to share that there is some interrelationship of themes with other themes.
I think you have a few people that may have shared, so do you want to go back
Oh,
and share?
okay, thanks, thank you. All right, let me go, thank you.
Yep.
All right. Aha, okay. Anxiety, depression, fish study. Sounds interesting already. Okay.
So if you want to raise your hand if that's your project, and we'll
Right.
unmute
So
you.
Tamara, and then maybe we can let Michelle go and ask for Tamara to come on.
Yep.
And then fish study open. Okay, cool. Hi, Tamara.
Hello, can you hear
How are
me?
you today?
I'm doing well, thanks.
Good. And where am
Kind
I
of excited
finding
about
you?
this.
What,
I'm
pardon?
in Rapid City, South Dakota. I'm
Okay,
professor at the University of South Dakota.
welcome.
Thank you.
Sure. So you have interviews here. So first of all, they're small, but okay, fine. You went and you did you created these codes yourself?
Yeah, well, they're it's a narrative, and so those are kind of narrative codes
Okay.
for
So
narrative study.
pardon me?
For a narrative study, yeah, that's so what I did was I created those codes and gave it a definition based on what the narrative
Yep.
analysis would define them.
Yep. All right. So I would be interested to see, are you interested in playing with AI and seeing if there's other codes that we could find?
That's how I came up with, I did that after I uploaded everything. I clicked on AI tools and it generated those for me.
Okay, I see. And
Yeah.
so know that you can certainly add additional codes if you'd like manually.
Okay.
Are you happy with these with these codes?
I'm not sure. I haven't really had a chance. It just happened just as I was waiting for you to pop on. So
Okay, got it. So for sure, the next thing would be to go into these details of these code names and descriptions. They seem a little not as informative as I'd like. I mean, these may well make sense to you. Typically, they're much more involved there, perhaps more like this, but this might well make sense to your brain. You know, one thing when I do these, I have no idea of the data to know that temporality is a decent code for that.
yeah.
So, but you'll know. So just know that you can add additional codes. I would go into the thematizing. I mean, I think that there's just one. You need other codes. So you need at least 6 codes to grab those thematizing. That's something.
Okay.
So let's just for the fun of it though.
Mhm.
You know, these are.
Yeah, I shortened them quite a bit because there was a lot of information that were in our interviews that I didn't feel was relevant to the study. So
Fine. I mean, you get to clean.
mhm.
Well, I mean, look, there is no mandate that you have to follow the protocol of coding, thematizing going on. These might well serve as your themes, okay,
Okay.
for these interviews. So, but there's a trick though, because when you go to the insights document, you can't really go to you have no themes. So what you can do is, what I would do is I would go to add theme, for each one of these things, okay? I would go to, I don't want to do this. So I would go to add theme, this is being recorded, AI assist, and for each one of these, I would generate a theme. Again, go in here, AI assist, spatiality, generate theme. And you could have a theme just with the same exact name too, by the way. So now basically I have a unique theme for each one of these codes. You can go to the insights document. Now, did you put research questions in or no? Not yet.
I don't know if I
Oh.
did or not.
So you
I
can,
put in the purpose statement, I guess. I didn't do the question.
oh, okay, so let me just grab that. So update. Okay, so so as I said, to explore, so you can use these research questions flexibly. So I'm gonna take that and just add it as a research question. Okay. Just for the fun of it, I'm gonna go back to your document. Now I'm gonna go back to insights. I'm gonna go to the rationale. Now I have something, I'm gonna tie each of those. I'm gonna tie each of those themes to that research question or purpose statement in your case. So you could just look at this for your consideration. Here is kind of purpose and the theme, and then does this make sense that this theme is going with that purpose? With that purpose. So this may make sense to you, this may not make sense. But that's one way to kind of look at it, okay?
Okay.
Secondly, for sure, I would be doing a deep dive into each one of these. So each one of these themes, I would grab all those excerpts. And now you have a theme. By the way, does this theme make sense at all to you?
I'm having a hard time seeing it.
We've had
Yes.
another request for you to kind of scroll in, so if you could enlarge the screen
I'm
a little.
sorry. So one issue is that this maybe is not connecting well to this. I mean,
Mhm.
that's a very weak description of a code.
Of a code. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Typically they're much more.
Yeah, I was just doing it real quick, so just to get it in there so I could play with that and
Yeah, I think
make
what
it more detailed.
I think I would make these, I think I might just make, if I would perhaps, use this and this as it and make it as a theme. I don't think I got it. I think basically what I'm trying to do is to use that code and tie that directly to that. Feel free to schedule with me. I'm happy to work through this with you, okay?
Okay.
Yeah. All right, and then, yeah, but at the outset, I'm like, don't like that code name, and then more
Mhm.
directly tie those codes and themes together, get the research questions in there, and then, but that your first process should be going into the details of those codes and looking at those excerpts to see that they all kind of cohere.
Mhm.
All right,
Okay.
and then I think I'm just gonna get rid of the I'm gonna unnest codes. I'm gonna get rid of these themes that not, I want to, in your particular case, I want to make sure that that the codes, make sense. I think that's the place to start here. Going back to scratch and then starting. Again, happy to see you and, feel free to obviously play around with it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And the
thank
other
you.
piece
Thanks
is-
for,
Yeah, the other piece is, my impression is too many here.
Mhm.
It just
Mhm.
seems like we're kind of using like a coloring book around here. There's too many of these things. So I want to be more selective here. Again, maybe all of those excerpts go with it, but I don't know. I just
Yeah.
something's a mess.
Mhm.
I just think it's worth looking at again. Okay. And again, happy to see you and talk to you. All right.
Okay, yeah, we'll do that. Thank you.
All right, Tamara. All right, and then I'm just gonna leave that. So let's just go to Melissa, in terms of faculty, would that be Rasslin students or Wayne?
I
We-
don't know, so,
I'm just gonna go without knowing, I'm gonna go with Wayne here.
and then if you could raise your hand, if this is your project.
STEM and disability. Okay.
Here I am.
Hello there, Theo. How are you doing today?
I'm doing quite well. How are you doing yourself?
Good. And where are you? Where are we finding you?
I'm here in Detroit, Michigan.
In Detroit, Michigan. Okay. And you have just one interview, or you have other interviews to upload?
I just uploaded one interview because it was a case study. So
Okay, so you only have one interview, or you have others?
I have specifically one interview for this project.
Fine.
The other ones are not related with STEM and disability.
Fine. So you have, you have one theme and you have several codes. All right. What kinds of questions do you have?
I had a question. What are some of the factors that influence participation of students with disabilities in STEM courses at college level?
So I would have that as my research question. So where are we? We are right here. So over here with these three dots, I would update. Perfect. You got it in. Great. So once we're there, well, I would be, did you put in medical conditions, but there's nothing in there.
No, I only retrieved, I was following what you were demonstrating.
Okay, can I delete this?
Sure.
Okay. All right, so to do the automatic, similar to Tamara, I think I would make different themes for each of these. I would probably go through and, because there's so few excerpts and so few codes, I would literally go, if these make sense to your brain, okay, that name and that description and anything else that you add, I'd probably create a theme called academic support systems, if that was okay. So I would
Yeah.
explain by adding a theme, okay, academic support systems. Okay. So that's one thing. And then I'd go into the let's just assume that that's a reasonable code for you. I think my next step is I would create a unique theme for each one of these things. I would drag it in there. Right there. So now it ties together. Okay, I know it's a little redundant there. I would do it for each one of these.
Okay.
And then once you have that, then you can go to the insights document go to the rationale, tie that theme or themes to that question. So go through that process, tie the question to the theme and a rationale for it. Secondly, deep dive into that theme. Okay. With supporting excerpts. Okay, this whole business here. Okay. There was something else I was just thinking about. The other thing I was thinking about was these are really short answers. So for whatever reason. So I might, when I'm going into each of these codes and I'm going into these excerpts, I might want to go to that particular section.
Mhm.
And I may want to expand it to add more context. Again, particularly if you're doing integrated reliability, those excerpts got to be tight and clearly tied to that theme. So, so you just may want to consider adding context there.
Okay. Mhm.
Other questions you have for me at the moment?
Well, I think just the pricing, because I'm interested in it, in the
Yep, Ashley, Melissa, as she said, this, $59 for a month for a one month, one off. It gets cheaper, 6 months a year, courseware and so forth. So you can just go to Intellectus Qualitative, go to pricing, okay, just start a free trial. So
Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm. Thanks.
sure. And maybe I'll just answer a few more questions here. Can your tool be set up to do competitive case study analysis, like 6 cases, 3 with positive incomes, 3 with negative? Total of 80 odd interviews across cases. I don't know. When I see that, my first reaction is, I would think I'd want to look at those positive outcomes from a project, from a negative outcomes project. And then when I have those themes, one of 3 things are going to occur. I'm going to have themes that are the same across positive and negative outcome projects. I'm going to have unique themes in the positive outcome project that are not in the negative. And I'm going to have unique themes in the negative outcomes project that are not in the positive project. All right. Is it possible to upload just one Word document? Don't. I'll give you one word. No. So I don't even know what that means. A one Word document.
I think it means a single Word document
Oh,
rather
a
than a
single
bunch of
word doc.
different.
I'm like one word. One word back. No, you can't do that. So yes. Well, Theo just did that, right? Right. We just talked about that. So yeah. Can I use this kind of coding for interpretive phenomenological analysis? I don't know about IPA in general, but phenomenological analysis sounds like, yeah, it's up this alley. What can I say? Try it, try it. Okay. I think with that, let me see if there's, so let me just do 2 other things here. One, I want to just reiterate that there are courseware to go with it. Okay. And pricing. I also want to highlight that we have a statistics tool, Intellectus Statistics, which does amazing things, not the least of which is conduct analyses, but it puts in the assumptions, it interprets the assumptions, and writes the results in plain English prose with APA tables and figures. So just want to give that quick plug to the Intellectus Statistics tool that it can really help. Someone mentioned mixed methods earlier. So just to know that that's out there and it also has 60 lessons and so, or so. All right, let's go to, I think, from the current slide and switch. So I just want, I'll leave with the, just the contact information. Ashley's here to support you with pricing, trials, setting up demonstrations, either for you, for other faculty. She can, Melissa, who do they, for consulting, I would just use the consulting button in the upper right. How else would,
Yep. We send a follow-up email. It's going to have this recording in it. It's going to have links to our upcoming workshops and the next qualitative workshop. It will have a link to consulting, Ashley's contact information, and if you want a personalized demo, you can do that too. So it'll
Awesome.
all be in the email you're going to get a little later.
Terrific. And when will the recording be available?
It usually takes about 2 to 3 hours to render and get posted.
Okay, so today.
Yep, today.
Awesome. All right, well, terrific. Well, I wish everyone happy thematizing and going out and continue to do good research. The world needs good quantitative and qualitative research, and there's a lot to know. So I just want to thank everyone for attending. My ask is share this with other folks. People do not know they're using other legacy tools, and they're kind of complicated. I hope, if anything, that I demonstrated that it's kind of easy to navigate through these things and kind of get some draft of codes, themes, and excerpts that you can start working on without just kind of looking at a piece of paper and saying, where do I start? So anyway, thank you all for your attention and attending, and look forward to seeing you at the next webinar. So thank you. Have a good rest of the week.